A little over a month ago, I put out a video asking you guys to vote on what song you would like me to focus on next. Champagne Supernova was the overwhelming winner, and since then I've been kind of researching the song, listening to different versions of it and kind of digging under the surface a bit to find out more about it. In that process I discovered that at 4 minutes 35 into the song, Noel Gallagher plays what is, in my opinion, the best guitar solo on the entirety of What's the Story Morning Glory. And here's the ironic thing, most people have never heard it from start to finish, and that's because it's in there at the same time as Paul Weller's solo, and it's in there at the same time as a wall of backing vocals from Liam and various other band members. Now, on Definitely Maybe, the lead guitar highlight was, I would say, Live Forever. The solo in that was fantastic. On What's the Story Morning Glory, this solo is the Live Forever solo of this album. The best place to go to hear the first half of Noel Gallagher's Champagne Supernova solo is if you have the deluxe remastered edition of the Morning Glory album. On the second disc, the 13th track is the Brendan Lynch mix. And in that mix, it's the same song, it's most of the same tracks. There's like a new bass guitar track, and he adds like a kind of a phaser or a flanger onto some of the guitar tracks. But other than that, it's all just the original tracks, but it's been mixed with a ton more space. The wall of sound has been removed and it's been mixed a bit more, perhaps like a pop song. And so on that mix of the song, you can hear the first half of Noel Gallagher's solo when it kicks in. But then halfway through the solo, it kind of fades out and Paul Weller's solo fades in. To get to the second half of Noel Gallagher's Champagne Supernova solo, the studio version, I had to isolate channel 1 from the Super Audio CD and listen very, very closely, because that was literally the only available stem where it could be heard. It's a patched together solo, so there's more than one track on the solo. There's kind of a call and answer section where he has double tracked it, but I've transcribed the solo to be playable on one guitar. So how did this happen? How did the best guitar solo on What's the Story Morning Glory end up so low in the mix that no one could hear it? I think Noel Gallagher kind of gives us the answer in this clip.
With Weller, it's always the same. He's a friend of mine, and has been a friend of mine for the best part of 30 years. He's played on, I've forgotten how many tracks of mine he's played on Oasis, and it usually goes that he will offer to play on it, which usually means it's a song that he likes, and when he says, oh, give us a play on that, I'm like, oh wow, okay.
I think it's entirely possible that Noel had written this part for Champagne Supernova and had just kind of chatted with Paul Weller and said, play something on the album, and Paul Weller happened to choose this song, and so Noel kind of deferred to Paul here and said, okay, you solo over the top of my solo, we'll play them both and turn my solo down. So here we go, possibly the best lead guitar work on the Morning Glory album. Noel Gallagher's lost solo from Champagne Supernova, start to finish, for possibly the first ever time.